Hello everyone and welcome to the final alchemy draft of Brothers War on this channel now. The event actually has already ended the day before this video gets published, but anyway, because I'm pre-recording this, of course, so I'm still playing the alchemy drafts. This is the Monday of the week of alchemy drafts. When on Tuesday they will stop happening. All right, so Fateful Handoff, not really a good one at all. So. I guess this is a sideboard card against pacifism effect and the blue tap down aura. I think that's a use for this thing. But anyway, the pack isn't that great. Disfigure and Cinnamon are the picks I'm considering, and I think the 3 mana for 3 Trampler is great. My Metamorph is like playable. This is playable, nothing amazing. I think I'd take the raw stats here and move on. Alright, I'm gonna auto pick the Alchemy Mythic Rare. Also, it is actually, I think, good when you see if you have artifacts in your graveyard. Yeah, you get to, this creates you some, at least it improves your draws. Of course, this doesn't draw you cards because the card goes to your library for you to draw, but you will get some nice under-costed or overstated creatures. So it's definitely worth picking here regardless, but I'm still, trying to at least collect as many of these mythics as possible. These alchemy mythics, this is the final opportunity for me to collect them via draft. So I'm gonna take it, but it's also a good card. I can move to blue-white. If this wasn't a mythic rare, I might still take just a research desk because it's a pretty fantastic continuation on the Cinnamon. This is a really good uncommon, especially when you can do the unearth, but I will take the mythic rare now. And I will keep in mind that maybe blue and white is what I want to do. So it's a 3 mana 2/4, so it's an okay stat line. And then all you need to have is an artifact in your graveyard, and it's going to, well, ideally it is going to be a creature. You can redraw it. It'll be cheaper to cast, and it has a nice +2/+2 pump. And following that theme, I'm gonna take the Drafna. I definitely have now 2 reasons to focus on artifacts. Other cards worth considering. I might be there's not even that many. I would have taken a Powerstone Engineer after the Richlow Headmaster, but of course I'll take this thing. It's quite nice when you have a bunch of artifacts. And I might just abandon the Cinnamon, especially because you don't really see a lot of red here. Unless you try to force some kind of sack deck and take the Blast Runner right now. But I will just put this to the sideboard because it seems blue-white is more open here. This pack has... Well, there is a Boulder Branch Golem. There's a Mask of the Jade Crafter. Yeah, the mask actually isn't bad with the Drafna. You can add 5 mana, have 2 masks. I could just take the Paratrooper, or I could actually take the Recommission too, because I can bring both of these guys back. The Golem is, unless I have access to green, it's gonna be a 7-drop. It's a little bit too expensive. You don't really copy that, for instance. But this is a really good card. I guess the best card in the pack is maybe that mask here. I'm gonna take the mask because I think I can play it even in the blue-white deck. Maybe I splash a little bit of green for the unearth. All right. And of course, it's still possible. Green is wide open, and then of course I should take the great green card. All right, so this pack, no, the amulet is a little bit too clumsy. I mean, not just a little bit; it's very clumsy. I'm not taking that. I could take the sprite if I want to follow up with the green. Maybe like splash white, big green, blue, splash white. There's an artifact here and here. I'm not sure I'm that interested in them. I could just take the Vanguard as a random 2-drop, or I could take the Weakstone Subjugation. Alright, I guess I'll take the removal. I'm still trying to be blue here. I think it's fine pick here. It's definitely totally reasonable. Like a Lockdown Aura, not all of them always are, but this is very decent because it's well, you can play it for 1 if it's already tapped, and it's a huge deal. Alright, I don't like the lay down arms as much as I like the prison sentence. I could take the coastal bulwark, but I think it's a kind of card that you can come to me later in the draft. I could take a stern lesson as well. But I think the prison sentence. Yeah, I mean, based on this pack, I could still be blue-white. There's plenty of blue and white stuff here, so it might be open. Let's take the sentence here. Oh, and then there's also an Arbalest Engineers. Now it is 2 colors, but it's a really good card. There's an Argotian Opportunist as well, so... well, the blue and white cards are playable, but not necessary what I'm looking to draft here. I'm going to take the Opportunist now, because it's still possible, based on my picks, that I'm green-blue splashing for the Prison Sentence and the Headmaster here. Totally doable, in my opinion, so I'm going to take the Opportunist, because I already have the mask that kind of pulls me to drafting a green. Well, there's an Argotian Sprite. I guess I'm supposed to take it now. I could still just, stick to blue and white, take the Powstone Engineer, which wouldn't be a bad one, but I have a couple of decent green cards, a little bit better than the Powstone Engineer, and I can take a green good 2-drop over this 2-drop. So I'm gonna take this, and let's see if I find some artifacts. Now I do find now this is, like a mediocre card, so I'm not surprised it's coming back. I think I'll take that, because when you are main color blue, you can get casted double caster 4-drop. And I definitely want to have some artifacts here. I could take the Bulwark too, but I mean, I'm gonna take the uncommon now. Weakstone Subjugation. I think that this is a good card, but I'm pretty much going to now draft green-blue, splashing for white. I need to get some fixing, of course. Now, do I take the Subjugation number 2, or just something like a Depth Charge Colossus, because I have reasons to be, get some artifacts? I guess I'll take the cheap removal. You usually get those Colossus later on. Okay, this is perfect. Way to enable the splash here, and also works with the artifact synergies. Although, well, yeah, I guess it's pretty decent with this thing. You can, if you don't have any other use for your mana, you can just return and replay this thing to draw more cards. That's quite sweet, in fact. Alright, Baldur Grant's column game here. So the decision to move green was definitely correct here. There is still a recommission, so I guess the blue-white wouldn't have been a train wreck, but I do like the more... I do like that I went to this green direction, because of the green stuff here is pretty good, and they work well with the theme of the deck, which is, some kind of a little bit of a ramp, maybe Power Stones, Energies, Opportunist likes. Well, I mean, it works there greatly, and this, of course, benefits from having access to a lot of mana. I just take the uncommon here. I don't think those are really. I mean, what is the scenario where I move to draft red here? Not likely. Okay, I'm very happy about the Bulwark coming, because this is the kind of deck that probably just wants to survive until late game. And here we have a very nice rare Simian Simulacrum, an artifact for my synergies, and just a powerful card. Even if you don't play green, this is 3 mana 2/1 that you can target itself. It's a 3 mana 4/3. That's like the worst case scenario. And then you can also just put +1/+1 counter to something that is already on the battlefield, so you can kind of get +2/+2 hasty power. So this is always great, and when you are green, it's of course a lot better still, because of the unearth. Alright, let's do it. And okay, another engineers, but I think I will pick green-blue and try to find more ways to splash. I have only one refractor. I would rather have Evolving Wilds, for instance. So I'm not going to bother with these red and green cards. I can just take here Epic Confrontation. I'm just figuring out if I should... No, there's a Take Flight, actually. I somehow didn't see it. It's gonna be... I mean, the Confrontation is decent, but I have some removal, a couple of Subjugations, a Prison Sentence, so I think I should take this pretty nice. It makes a creature into a must-deal threat. And because you get the card right away, if you are playing this against a tapped-out opponent, for instance, you get the card right away, so you don't care that much if the opponent can still deal with the enchanted creature. Okay, so Burnished Heart is a way to enable a splash, and this actually could be the kind of deck that doesn't mind, ramping to a large amount of mana. For example, getting to cast the Hulking Metamorph at 9 is pretty sweet. This is also a deck where I might play one of these stone retrieval units. It's a bit weak, but in this deck it probably is worth it. But I think I'll take the heart. This can allow me to get planes from the deck, even though it is very expensive. But I think this deck can deal with that. Alright, there's a fortified beachhead, which is really nice because even if I don't care about the soldiers, it is a dual land that fixes my white. And this pack actually has like a Gaia's gift. That's a an interesting card here to consider. So I'm taking these, and now my splash is actually in a pretty decent shape already. And it's only pack 2, pick 5. And here's another card that can help me. Oh, there's yeah, I could take the Stalwart. It's actually a card I would probably play in this deck, but there's a Hercules Prodigy, insane card, and I'm green-blue main colors, so it's an easy pick here. It's the best card in the pack. I think it is better than the Evangel of Synthesis, even if you are blue-black, but yeah. Okay, so there's a mutt, which is always playable even if you can't unearth it, especially if you have some artifact energies like I am having. It is a 2-drop which I might still need. Yeah, I definitely need one. But there is a Mightstones animation which actually would be good in this deck. I would play and be happy about Mightstones animation, but I think Mutt is more important to me now. And with the Refractor I can even allow the Unearth ability payment, so I'm taking the 2-drop now. That is, it's not just a 2-drop, it's actually very good. A very good card. Because maybe I'm not going to explain right now. You probably know that it is good, but it has multiple things going on for it. Alright, I'm going to take the second copy of a Take Flight over this 8-drop thing. This is good in some decks, but maybe not in mine at least. And oh, another Hercules Prodigy. Yeah, it's easy pick over the Confrontation. Now, I would play a Confrontation in this deck. I have like only 3 removal spells, but this is just insanity. So let's take the insanely good card. Sadly, this thing doesn't really... It's not so great in this kind of a deck. I think I'll take the Power Plant Worker, which I may or may not play. It's going to be one of the first cuts. If I get anything better, I can cut it. But if this is going to be like my top end is, the Power Plant Worker and the Boulder Branch Golem, then I can easily leave it in the deck. Wow, no one is playing these engineers. Well, I'm not gonna play the rebuff. And this is best of 1 draft, so there's no sideboarding. I'm just taking the engineers away because it's not supposed to be here, so I fixed that. Alright, I'm gonna play the Stone Retrieval unit. This is something I could splash, but I have only 2 soldiers here, so it's not really that good here. Which are the soldiers, by the way? That's interesting to know because I have the land that will enter untapped if I have a soldier. Okay, who is a soldier? It said 2 soldiers, didn't? Okay, yeah, I'm not, because this land says that well, you can read it, but if you have soldiers in your hand or on the battlefield, it will not be tapped. But who are the soldiers here? Oh, these things. I didn't really think these are soldiers, but in fact they are. Okay, well. Coilless Rock, Tinkering. I don't like any of these. I'll just take the uncommon, why not? Because there's only entire pack left and I'm at 21 playables here. I'm pretty sure all of these cards can be main decked. I don't care about these. The Drake is just too small for the mana cost, so I'm just taking the uncommons for this nice little vault value. Alright, pack 3. No mythic rare, but okay, they are good options for sure. I'm not going to splash the red here, but there's a Sylvan Smite and there's a Battery Bearer. Now this actually has a chance to come back if no one is blue-green. This is not really that amazing card, but in my deck it would be really good. There's also Gaia's Gift and the Stern Lesson, so maybe green and blue drafters take these 2 cards and maybe this comes back to me. But I think the Sylvan Smite is the pick here. A little bit of interaction. And usually quite efficient removal also, so I'm gonna take that from this pack. And okay, that's a really crazy good Phoenix here. This is just insanity. This is one of the alchemy rares, so you won't be seeing this in my draft videos going forward because this is my final alchemy draft for the Brothers War set, but this is just ridiculous to try to deal with. Okay, so I'm splashing white, so I will have access to this Unearth, but there's also Static Net, so I mean it's gonna have to be it. It's just better than Epic Confrontation, and I do still want to have like an Evolving Wilds, but well, let's see if I see one, because I will pick one quite high. Now I don't think I'll take this Prison Sentence. I already have a few white cards, and I want to keep the splash, you know, as a splash, and not really go like even 3 colors, because once you start having like 5+ cards, it's not really a splash anymore. So I'm gonna take the Argothian Sprite here. I wouldn't mind the Amulet if it comes back. This is something I want to be able to cast on turn 2, so I don't care about splashing it that much. Okay, Autonomous Assembler has to be the pick, right? It's, let's say, slightly better than the Power Plant Worker. I even have a chance to, you know, play it as a 2-drop in some games. Alright, well, that's such an easy pick. It's just a very, very good rare. Mishra's okay. I think I have seen 3 engineers in this draft, so if I took the first one and kind of went to red-green, could have been a good deck still. Okay, here. Yeah, I don't think I like the research desk that much when I don't have the easy Unearth. I mean, this Refractor is the only way to put the Unearth into use. So I'm thinking about between the Giant Growth and the Bounce Spell. Maybe even Supply Drop, but I don't know about the Supply Drop. I'll take the Mana Efficient Pump still. I usually like Supply Drop, but this deck seems like maybe a little bit on the clumsy side, so I take the one mana trick here. Okay, I don't think I need the Corsair. Wellspring is nice to bounce with the Drafna, but that's pretty much it. I think he has sacrifices stuff. I could just take the Tower Worker over the Thopter here. Although I have a lot of 3-drops here. Then again, this is not the deck that necessarily cares about the Thopter. You know what? I'm taking the Wellspring here. I'm not sure if I'm gonna play it, but it could be played. Alright, so this is sort of fixing, but maybe wouldn't mind having the Gaia Wings. But yeah, there is good synergy with the draft now, of course. And this allows me to cast 1 white spell. Alright, I'm gonna actually take it. I don't mind. And here we have, I don't have, I will have both islands and forests in a quite even distribution, so I shouldn't take the Steel Exemplar here. I'm not sure if this is an Iron Out Wings deck either. I guess I'll take this. I don't really like the Swiftfoot Boots, by the way. Oh, I got this. So, like I said, the Stern Lesson and some other green, some green, mono green card were taken, and I get this Battery Barrier now, which I'm very happy about. And okay, I have seen so many Gaia's Gifts. Also, Machine Over Matters, which is not a bad card, but I think I like the Gaia's Gift slightly more. And of course, I do have a bunch of cuts. I didn't find, sadly, an Evolving Wilds, but I do have still the Burnished Heart, something to keep in mind. I won't be playing any of these, so it's easy to just pick the uncommon when there's no sideboarding involved, so you don't even have to care about the sideboard options. Wing Commando is good, but I'm not sure if this deck even cares about it. It is a soldier, which, you know, mostly matters for the fortified beachhead. Make this enter untapped, and of course the pump effect only applies to soldiers. Okay, I got the Machine Over Matter too, but I don't have room in this deck for all these, you know, off-team cards. This is nice kind of interaction, but of course the amount of cuts I need to make is pretty serious. Okay, well, I'm not playing 2 Giant Growths. Tower Worker, you know, I might play. Well, I don't have room for the Agent. It's not totally unplayable, but especially when you have a lot of Power Stones, and my deck has quite a few of them, then the 2 mana ability isn't that hard to use. Alright, so cut the lands for now. Not sure about the Power Plant Worker. I don't actually have that, you know, the mana curve isn't that, you know, top heavy here. But I start with the easy cuts, and I think the Giant Growth is an easy cut, and the Machine Over Matter is another easy cut, and the Ichor Wellspring is an easy cut. I will play the Elsewhere Flask and the Energy Refractor because they at least allow me to splash the white cards, and also the effect is good with this. So I mean, if I really had space in the deck, maybe I would play the Wellspring just to maybe synergize with the Drafna, but I think those two will be enough. Then there's something I won't be cutting. The Sylvan Smite won't be cut. I kind of want to play the Gaia's Gift, but there's gonna be some cuts in the 3-drop slot. I just don't think the Wing Commando is for this deck. I'm going to cut it, and I'm going to cut the Tower Worker too. I mean, with these 3-drops, I prefer all the other ones more. Retrieval Agent goes away. How about the Stone Retrieval Unit? Now, given that I don't actually have that many expensive stuff, this can be a 4-drop, this can be a 4-drop, this could be even a 2-drop in some cases, but I also feel like maybe I should play the Power Plant Worker. It's also something, you know, if I have also the Autonomous Assembler, I could, you know, target the Power Plant Worker with the Assembler's ability. I don't think I have any other assembly workers. No, I don't. But yeah, probably going to be... I mean, I guess this could be a 16 land deck. Although it's pretty hard for me because I do have 3 colors in here after all. I might have to cut 5 cards, and that means I just have to, after all, take the Stone Retrieval Unit away. Maybe the Power Plant Worker after all, because these can be a little bit more expensive. I'm gonna play this just because, you know, because it can, you know, help me splash the white. So that's still a bunch of cuts I need to make. It's so sad there's no sideboarding here in best of 1, because there's, I mean, the Coastal Bulwark is a card I can easily see not wanting, but against some decks it's just gonna be great. But I suppose my 2 mana plays are, well, there are not that many, but I guess I can use the Weak Stone's Subjugation early in the game as well to buy some time. This is a good blocker, so maybe I don't need to hit my 2-drop creatures. And sometimes on turn 2 I'm gonna just play one of these 2 mana artifacts that don't do anything. And then I think the Gaia's Gift is the next card that has, you know, basically no synergy with the deck. I guess the only synergy is to protect the take flight creature, but I don't see that as a high priority at all. So this is now 24 spells. I could play 16 lands. I have the couple of cantrips here and the mutt, and these don't require any specific color to play. So that's 3 cards that at least give me an additional draw to find lands if I need those. And the overall mana curve in this deck isn't actually that crazy, and I have a bunch of Power Stone production, the Prodigies, the Opportunist, Static Net, and this, you know, makes my creatures into Power Stones. So I might play 16 lands if I get the mana to work. I don't really want to cut the Sylvan Smite or the little bit of an interaction I have. I have 4 aura-based removal spells and the Sylvan Smite to bite something. Amount of creatures is 14, but that's fine. I will play both of these take flights. You know, you could cut maybe one of them, but I don't think so. Let's read this one once more. So at the beginning of my end step, not upkeep. So if I play this and I have already 1 mana left over, I can use it right away. A target artifact card in my graveyard gets this, you know, mana reduction, and also a very nice pump effect if it's a creature. I don't have vehicles in this deck. Put it into your library second from the top, so you won't be immediately drawing it, but you will be drawing it the turn after that. So this is slow, definitely, but anyway, I have enough artifacts in the deck to make it work. I mean, artifact, 9 artifacts, of which 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's 6 that are creatures. And the flask actually can be sacrificed, so this can go to graveyard. I mean, it's not really that great because it becomes a 1 mana cantrip, so I guess, yeah, it's not that great to draw it because you have to draw it. This doesn't, you know, put the card in your hand. You have to just draw it normally during your draw step. But I have some decent artifacts that will end up in my graveyard, and if I have access to a rich low, that'll be fine. Okay, because I'm thinking I might maybe want to actually play the Power Plant Worker. But I'm not playing 15 lands. So, you know, cutting something here could be done, but no, I think this is fine. I have a couple of take flights for some late game efficiency, mana production, and you know, just make something that can deal damage to the opponent to maybe even win the game with that. So yeah, this is it. Assuming my lands can work here, so I suppose there's nothing else in terms of lands here. No, there's the beachhead, and then there's the refractor and flask. Well, the flask only helps me cast one white spell. I have, of course, I suppose 3 cards that require white to cast, and this thing, you know, has the prototype, but that's not so important. So that is 3 white spells. I'm definitely not putting a mountain into the deck. If I happen to have my refractor, I can unearth it, or maybe the elsewhere flask to sack it for this unearth. But point is that the number of planes, I'm not sure about that yet. So first of all, I need a bunch of forests and islands. I think I need, well, the minimum I'm gonna play is definitely like 8 forests, I think. Although I don't have that many green cards here, but they are, you know, these early drops, which are pretty bad if you can't cast them early. So I can't really see how can I play less than 8. Then again, that means no, I won't have space for the planes at all, because I do want to play also a lot of planes. Sorry, islands here. And I have some early cards that are blue that need you know, islands. I do have the refractor, it slows down, but then again, if I play like the refractor on turn 2, I still will be able to play the sprite on turn 3 if I have to use this for the green mana. So it's okay. But yeah, I guess I can count this as a green source, this refractor here. So 7 forests, and I put 6 plains, no, not plains, 6 islands here, because this beachhead produces blue as well. And this will leave me 2, so I guess I actually do want to play 2 planes in here. I do have 3 white cards in here. So it's a bit unreliable mana base, which definitely would benefit a lot from having an evolving wilds here. But I still have the burnished heart. This is just so slow to fix, but at least it can fix even 2 colors. If I have only like mono forests or mono islands, I can then get both the plains and the other missing one. Sure, that's it. Definitely I can see losing to bad mana, especially this is a double caster, for instance, so I could have a turn 4 when I don't have enough blue, but hey, at least I do have a couple of Oracle's Prodigies. These are great. But yeah, this is the deck. Let's see how it goes. Okay, that is an acceptable one, because what I can do, I can play Mask on turn 2, crack it on turn 3, and have it take flight on turn 4. If the opponent has no interaction there, because then I will have a 4/3 flyer that draws me cards. That will be great, but I don't like to see the Stalwart on there, especially because I'm on the draw here, so they are gonna have a jump start in terms of mana production. They have a 2-drop here now. At least it's only 1 power. Okay, so this thing copies, enters the battlefield as a copy of an artifact or creature. It's an artifact creature if it's a non-artifact, a non-creature artifact, and then its power and toughness are equal to the either 3/3 if you prototype it, 7/7 if not. Okay, this is amazing. First of all, they didn't have a 3 mana spell, they didn't have even a land drop, so I'm gonna of course make this into a 3/3 now. Point. I don't know when I'm gonna, you know, have time to make it any better. They have a sprite in there, and now I can just use my take flight. Alright, this will be fine. They can only hit for 4, and if they hit for 4, they can't use the Stalwart. And this is something they need to kill if they have the means to do so. Let's see. Well, they do. They do have a fairly decent answer for it. So you can play this just as a 3/3 now. That's not necessarily what I want to do, but it's also potentially something I have to do. I could even lock down the Stalwart, but I don't know if that actually makes sense. It might be better to just lock down the sprite in here. Because I do have 3 islands here, so I can actually... because I can only make a 2-2 out of this thing. I don't like that the removal was also a new creature. I guess they had to sack a creature, but it was only a 1-1. But yeah, the high priority is now to just make another hit take flight, so I suppose I'm actually doing exactly that. So I'm gonna use a static net on the spider so that it can't actually block my 3-3 flyer here. So, because you don't have to, this will be a 3-3 if you have nothing to copy, so that's fine. And then I can just put this here. And next turn I will use my second take flight, and if nothing else I can play the refractor. Although that's not exactly true if they oh, forget about all that. I mean, if they don't attack with the 3-3, but I didn't see a scenario when they wouldn't attack with it. Alright, so that's a fine draw, especially because it's with the vigilance the take flight is gonna be great. Let's hope the opponent has run out of the removal though. They had a spider and the overwhelming remorse. Of course, if they just keep removing my guys, well, I guess I can. Okay, well, I mean, this is great for them. They are at 4 lands and all spells, and I can't compete now. Okay, Drafna is good, but what I have to do now is just get a couple of life points to get the, deal with that thing, and we can play the Drafna, or I can play the Refractor. The first ability does not require you to, not have summoning sickness. So I could play just the Refractor right now, and then next turn I might play. Although I can, take flight to Drafna. If I draw a land, so I can actually get a rather big token. So yeah, let's do this now. I have 2 draws to find another land, and if I do, and I did, I can still draw a land on the next turn. So I mean, this is 3 away from the unearth, and then that's 1 power stone. I can currently make it a 5/5 token. They have a wormlet though, but no artifacts for the death touch yet. Well, there's that's 2 artifacts. Okay, the opponent just has exactly what they need, and I sadly don't think I have time to fool around with this thing. So they have 1 more artifact, and this gets death touch. Well, that is unfortunate for sure, but what is... I can put this second to my top, but it will only be like a 1 mana thing. It doesn't make any sense to redraw that thing. Okay. I mean, I guess it's not the worst. I can do that. No, it's too slow. But it is a 2/4 creature that can, block the guys. But I can just make this, big token, hope that they actually don't have yet another removal spell. I mean, what can I do if they just remove every creature I have? There's not much to be done. So let's unearth this thing and have the 5/5. It is a rather large creature here, but if they get death touch on this thing, they can still continue attacking. Or maybe they just actually have another point of... Wow. The wormlet here is just so good, because they also of course increase its size, but I have to go to 6 now. Because of the death touch. Flash. Well, this doesn't have vigilance, I can't use the take flight right now. I don't have anything in my artifact to target with the... I guess I'm gonna see what I draw, then decide on my place. That needs to be there to block, and here I can, redraw my artifacts. Return target artifact you control. Okay, so I have, nice stuff going on. It's just that that wormlet is... I mean, I can trade maybe with it now. It's actually not impossible now that I have other blockers. They might even attack with everything, have like a pump spell. Yeah. I mean, I'm not double blocking it, it has death touch. So let's trade with the token now. I can bounce a refractor here. Okay, they get that thing, but it's not really, they could have gotten maybe like a war blow, but they did not, so they prefer a 1/1 death toucher that is also not very cheap. Cheap to cast now. Okay, this is the final card in their hand still. Okay, it's still some kind of a spell. Okay, well it is only a 1/3 creature, but of course my life is very low. Can't return the static net. Not that I want this guy to return to their battlefield and re-trigger. Okay. Well, you know, copying that thing is pretty nice. I do have exactly that amount of mana, do I? Oh, it's copying is 3 mana, so I was wrong. I have only 9, and this would require more. But I mean, bouncing this guy back is really good too, so I can copy the cheap version of it. Get 6 life still, because yeah, this is now. Yeah, I'm lacking 1 mana too. Yeah, okay. I think the Drafna should automatically pause for priority when there's something to copy, but I still don't gamble here, and I'm gonna play this. Copy target artifact spell. Like so. And I can still play the refractor. I guess I should have played the refractor first now. Okay, this is actually a means to stabilize, unless they, you know, keep drawing like. I mean, it's time for them to actually, you know, draw a land, isn't it? Because this board state here isn't gonna. Okay, well that can still turn into a land, but it does make the wormlet bigger. But I was gonna block the wormlet with my 3/3 token anyway. Okay, please just be a land. No crazy good spells. Thank you. So I don't think they have a good attack, because this 2/4 actually blocks these cohorts quite nicely. Alright, things are going now very well. So I can copy the golem here. I can return and recast it, I mean. I can't quite copy it, but I am going to return it to my hand now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, yeah, 9, 8 now, because I used that much. So I can play this and nothing else. Well, I'm gonna play it. There's no artifact in here for this thing. Artifact card in your graveyard. Yeah, I know I could, you know, do something with the Elsewhere Flask. Because I can make it cheaper, I can redraw it. I don't think I wanna do that though. Okay. Because I can sack this and put it in the second from my top, and it will be a 1 mana artifact. Okay, they have that, but it's probably not that bad now. Okay, and I can actually start doing stuff with the take flight here. If I'm willing to. I'm willing to do this. This guy can start attacking. They don't have anything with reach or flying. I'm not gonna deck out myself yet. Okay, prison sentence will be good. I can deal with whatever I want to. I don't think I'm gonna play the mod quite yet, because I might want to just. Although I think I'm not even wanting to, you know, discard lands here. I wanna play my lands, but I'm gonna get the Power Stone here. I leave mana up for this thing to return. You know, I can block and return the golem here. I don't need the prison sentence yet. There's still nothing in the graveyard, so yeah. Now my the Mythic Red doesn't do anything now, but the Drafna does all the things I need it to do, because this bouncing this guy is just insane, and now they get a big token which isn't gonna help them that much even. Because I do have the prison sentence here, for instance. I guess if they at some point find an answer to the static net, they can get the spider back, and then my shenanigans will end at that point, but there's gonna be a bunch of time till that happens. So I'm gonna return something. Is it gonna be the Boulder Branch Golem? I don't think I need the life currently, so I'm just going to return. Oh, unless I can copy it. But I think I'm gonna use the prison sentence on the 9/9 now. So let's just return the refractor. Okay, weak stones subjugation is gonna be good as well. Let's play the refractor, I believe. I should maybe also attack first before I think about what I'm doing. So let's get the card here. Okay, I also have this card in my deck, which is, you know, pretty good to return and recast. I could actually make a copy of it now. I think I have mana to do exactly the copy and also use the prison sentence. Yep. Yeah, and now I actually forgot to put the stop, but I was pretty sure that Drafna is coded in a way that it, you know, lets you respond to your artifacts to make it more convenient to play. Alright, who's gonna get the most harmless thing? I guess I can give the flyer some counters just to make my clock faster. And then maybe I can give this token opportunist. The token can also chunk block only, so yeah, that's fine. I'm gonna try to win in 2 turns and give this guy another counter. And then I can... Yeah, I guess I can just get rid of that thing. I can still trade with the Wormlet, so let's sentence this guy. Don't think I need either of these things really, so whatever. I don't have mana now to use the Drafna returning something. I hope it doesn't come and bite me, but the opponent needs specifically a removal spell on the 8/7 flyer, or something with reach, maybe at least to buy some time. Oh, they do get actually life from these things, so it's not a 2-turn clock yet, but I can of course use the Simulacrum trick multiple times here to make this even higher power than 8. So now they're gonna get another life point here, but I can just jump. I would just jump block this thing. Okay, my combo seems to work. Oh, this thing is gonna be great, but now I believe it's enough now this turn to just attack for 8, and next turn I can attack for 10 or what, however much is required here. I have also an unblockable Prodigy here, so just gonna do all that. Do this. No reason to subjugate anything. If they draw a reach guy, I can tap it down. So this is fine now. I don't need to do anything on my main phase. I can just use, you know, the Drafna on the opponent's turn. Yep. Well, that was pretty crazy, because how the game went. Oh, I'm actually 1 step away from a mythic rank. The game went when they had, you know, the spider. It's not here. Here, spider. They had it, and then the couple of overwhelming remorses. I was on the ropes there, but then I top decked the Boulder Branch Golem. This thing here, and with Drafna, it's just insane. Alright, with the flask, I think I keep it. I can draw a card and cast one of my non-green spells. If I draw any land, I can play the Opportunist. And I'm on the draw, so I guess I have an extra draw to draw cards, and this is not a bad draw. Of course, a land would be ideal, but at least it's a castable spell. Stoneseeker is insanely good. It's more important to get the Opportunist down. I can't even block this guy, so let's just get the land. I mean, ideally a land, but at least get closer to a land if there's not one on the top of my deck. Okay, so I have drawn 3 cards, none of them was a land yet. This is a 16 land deck, so I do have 14 left in there. Oh, this is the best uncommon in the Alchemy set, and it's also sick. And when the opponent plays a high quality uncommon, yeah. High quality 2-drop uncommon into high quality 3-drop uncommon when I'm struggling and I'm on the draw. I don't know how can I win here, even if I drew the land, which I didn't. Yeah, well, let's try, but I'm gonna go to 13 here. I could have played this, but it doesn't really help. It's a 2-2, not so. Even if the opponent doesn't have any other plays, but hey, the next creature will enter the battlefield with an additional counter. This card is so sick. That basically is a 3-mana 3/3 that involves having 4 additional counters, +1/+1 counters, for free across a few turns. Of course, it has to die at some point, and you need to unearth it for the second batch of the counters work. But even the one counter is really good. If you have a limited card that's it, you know, colorless, 3 colorless mana to cast, it's a 3/3. As an ETB, it says that your next creature is +1/+1 higher, larger. That's a high quality pick. I'm sure of that. Okay, land. I'm actually curious why they didn't take. Yeah, there was no reason to take the Opportunist or the Prodigy because I can play one or the other. Of course, the Prodigy needs an island, which I did now draw. So I'm a bit scared that they will, of course, have something that will end me regardless. But then again, I have to play as if they are not gonna have the answers to deal with the situation. So do I prefer to have the 3/2, which can, you know, trade with this thing? They don't have the white mana yet to bring it back. And I'm not gonna use this ability anytime soon. I guess I'm gonna just play this. It's a bit risky. I mean, I'd rather let this guy go trade down, and this could be a late game, you know, win condition. If I can get this Vigilance down, and of course I am now at 4 mana because this gave me 4 mana for my artifacts because this gave me a Power Stone. So any untapped land, and well, I have one land that can enter tapped, but this thing is a soldier, so it will actually enter untapped. Any land, therefore, will give me access to the 4/5. And here is 2 things I could double block here, but it's riskier if they have the +2/+0 and first strike. So let's just try trading here and see what happens. They're gonna go for it. Let the trade happen. Well, let's see if they play a creature. It's gonna get 2 +1/+1 counters, but not much I can do about it. That's a 5/4 now. I need one of my... I have a lot of actually these... Well, maybe not a lot, but I have multiple ways to lock this down. So let's draw one of them. Well, I drew a mana for one of them. I'm gonna take the 6 here. Yeah, this is just a ridiculously good card. Because of this card, this is now a 6/5, not a 4/3. 4/3 I could deal with, you know, multiple things. But now I just have to do this and hope they actually have nothing. I'm gonna take the 6. I know I could double block and trade with the Cindermore, but this is so good with the take flight. So I just have to hope they actually have no removal. And of course these colors do have ways to get rid of this 4/5. But I need to think about winning the game, and one good way to actually win this game is to use this Vigilant Flyer here. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna double block this guy and hope that my assembler will survive. I don't care about the sprite. But +2/+no and first strike won't be enough here. Okay, they are gonna kill it because they wouldn't put the assembler there first otherwise. Now, they had the Whirling Strike, but they actually need to use something else too. That's not enough, so they need to use 2 tricks here. Melt through, okay. But they still will lose this Stone Seeker because the first strike trick, of course, does not add to the toughness, so this is not so bad. I mean, if I draw now with the way that locks this guy down, I do like my chances, in fact. Come on, I have 2 of them, and I have also the Citizen's Arrest. What's the Arrest? So 3 cards, 3 auras that deal with that thing. That's not it. So this can't be taken anymore, I have to trade with it. Which is of course very sad, because there's no good way to trade with it. I mean, the only way is to sack the Elsewhere Blask, make this into a 3/3 and double block and hope they have nothing. But that is the only thing I have here going on. can't double spell. I have 6 mana, not 7. I would like to be able to double spell, but so be it. That is now how it goes. Let's make these lands into islands and do this. And I guess I might also be an Argothian sprite with the abilities, but so here opponent still has access to 4 cards. So I mean, pretty much anything will helps them now. But yeah, like I said, I have to play as if they are not having anything to deal with this double block. I can still win with the Prodigy. Okay. Well, I guess I don't die yet, so I'm going to absorb 2 of that. So I'm going to go to 1 now. Now I need a pacifism. Come on. Nope. So I didn't get the mythic rank because I was actually 1 step from it. So now I'm 2 steps from the mythic rank. Come on. It doesn't show it always. It's like a little bit buggy. Okay, now it shows. All right. Okay, let's hope to get better mana draw. Well, Mud can help me, Burnished Heart can help me even more. Find the island, so of course it can be killed, but I think it's a keep. I'm gonna discard. Let's see what I draw. I don't know if I'm gonna discard. Yeah, if I draw a land, I just don't discard anything, and I'd rather. Oh, that's so good though. But I need to play the Mud. I think it might be so that the Mask of the Jadecrafter, even though it is a fairly, it can be like a 4/4 or something, but I can unearth it at some point. The weak stone's subjugation is needed to, buy me some time. So let's get rid of the mask. Oh come on! Not another game where I keep a 2-lander and I don't get to draw a 3rd with multiple draws. This is messed up. I don't want to lose 2 games back to back to this. Okay, now at least I drew, and also I am on the draw here. Should I be in the aggressor? I think I should. I think I should be the aggressor, because they have a Thraxodemon. That means I'm not going to lock down anything else than the Thraxodemon. Otherwise they will just sacrifice the thing that I lock down. So I hope they will attack. And well, it depends on what if I draw a land. If I draw a land, I can just play the hearts and the subjugation. Okay, that's a really good one. So they can sacrifice the Thraxodemon for value regardless. I guess I can use a static net here. Well, I'm actually going to do that. I get the Power Stone token there too. The Genius is a problem card regardless, so it's very important to not have that thing around. Okay, now good draws after having a little bit difficulty finding the land, but now I have a lot of these castable spells. They have a Rager, which is cards, but also tempo-wise not excellent. So now I think I know I can just okay, they have Chromatic Star. I'm gonna lock down the Thraxodemon for sure. Now they are sacrificed deck, so they can sacrifice it for value at some point. But for example, Thraxodemon sacrificing a Chromatic Star actually draws you 2 cards. One from the ability, one from the triggered ability from the star. So if I had if I just drew an island, I could play the Battery Bearer and the Subjugation here, but I'm going to play the Burnished Heart and the Weak Stone's Subjugation here. And I'm gonna attack also. They don't want to take any more damage, I accept. And then I will lock that thing down, and I am willing to. I could play this as a 4/4, but I don't really know if that makes sense because I'm already at 5 here. I'm gonna play this. Maybe they are wanting to use a removal on it. Because I mean, I would still like to sacrifice it, but I guess I can leave without doing so. They can find a card from the star. Ah, no, not like this. I was okay with them killing it with the removal spell, not with a 6 mana 4/5 flyer with fire breathing that also kills my guy. Yeah, sure. It's one of those games. I mean, this is a BOM format, so you have to just, you have to kind of tolerate this kind of stuff happening, and it's not like I haven't won on the back of bombs alone, because I definitely have. So I have still outs. I have a Weak Stone Subjugation and the Prisoner's Arrest, and I will gain some life from the Boulder Branch Golem, especially if I draw a land, because the Battery Bearer can of course tap for mana, and I have a 1 Power Stone. Although it seems like they're gonna use their own Power Stone Fracture to deal with the battery better, because they wouldn't... Yeah. Okay, they didn't even need to use this thing for that. They can attack for 2 there. Alright, well, I mean, I guess I lose to a crazy bomb. Taking 7 here. I mean, I'm not lost yet. I can draw one of my weak stones, subjugations, the second one, or the arrest. And then I don't have to worry about that thing. But of course they are gonna be able to deal 8 to me on the next turn. And I have only 6 mana here, because they kill all my things that can give me more mana. So I couldn't play a 3-3 that gains me 3, but I believe I'm just going to... I guess I can also use the Mutt, because I have the Elsewhere Flask, but I don't think I will do that. I just hope that whatever they have in their hand, it's not anything too crazy, and they don't beat me on this turn, and that I can just you know, lock this thing down. So what are they having? Strong Bull. That does win me. I mean, win the game for them. Well, they have 1 artifact only. I'm gonna go down to 5 now, if they use all the red mana for that. Lonely End. Just in case. That's not even a threat right now. I wonder why they chose to do that and not play the Strong Bull. I mean, it's not like the 2/2s were doing anything here. But let's get now the pacifism. That's not it. Now, thing is, I could attack into that with threat of activation, but you know what? They're just gonna block, because they know if I tap out here, they win the game. So they will 100% block. So I can't attack. I'm gonna play this thing. And then... yeah, I still have my answers. I even have now the Bite spell, which is good enough with the 4/5. So I'm taking 9 damage here, though I'm down to 3, so they have 3 artifacts and I lose the game unless I find my Drafna that can, you know, return the golem and gain me life. So, okay, they play spells instead of doing that. So I can now draw multiple Strong Bulls, but only 1 artifact. Come on, pacifism. Lockdown. No, I can actually play... well, I don't have 9 mana here. Would be nice to get a 7/7 out of this. I can gain 3 life here. That's not enough. They will beat me with the 4 mountains. I mean, Tyrant of the Carriages, if you can't deal with it, it will win the game. Okay, I'm further below from the mythic rank. Not that it matters. I need to... I make cuts to this recording, so I have to figure out when I'm talking. So I'm actually qualified for the January qualifier weekend, so I got the invite from the... this is a good hand. I got the invite from the Cube Arena Open, from which I won $500. I didn't record the event. I had other things going on, so I wasn't really in a good spot to record it. But I did get to day 2, and I got 2 wins in the day 2 draft. So which is worth $500, and also gives the invitation to the next month's qualifier. It is gonna be Alchemy in January, but I'm definitely trying to win there as much as I can, because it's also going to give you nice gem prizes. Okay, so I don't really want this thing to get countered, but what can you do? I'm gonna play another sprite. I mean, you could, but on the other hand, if they don't counter this, on the next turn I will have 4 lands and a Power Stone token, so I can actually make this into a 3-power creature perpetually and still play the sprite. So let's hope they don't have a counter spell, and they did it, so that's good. So I don't care about reaching mythic rank that much this month. Alright, well, that thing has to die, and it will, gladly. I can actually copy the Prodigy with this thing, it will be sweet. But what I can do here now is... this is trees. Yep, this should work. I have enough mana for this. Like this. And like... I started, so I have to use this. This won't be a counter. But yeah, that's one of the other bum rares that just, you know, win on the spot. But I have a bum uncommon that wins the game for me if the opponent doesn't have removal for it. Of course, these colors shouldn't have too much trouble doing that. Okay, so I am going to now use the hulking metamorph. Copy the prodigy. I guess I'll do it pre-combat. So it gives me another power stone. I can't make it unblockable this turn, but I mean, I hope they just don't have any good trick there. Because double prodigy is pretty impossible for them to beat, even with the Sky Strike Officer, given, you know, the board state here. So I'm gonna attack for 10 unblockable damage on the next turn, because I do have the mana for that. I mean, I threaten doing so. Also, I have these two sprites here, which, you know, if they get a colorless soldier, it's an artifact creature that can't even block these sprites. And I have the threat of activation for the sprites as well. So, I should be winning this game. Unless they have like a Gixis command. Well, they had the Gixis Keres, but... or Keres. Keres. It's not Keres, even though it has the word care in there. Alright, so... they still... So basically, if they don't have anything for 1, I mean, they are not gonna have anything for 1. This is just a 5+5 unblockable, and they have only 1 black mana up. Okay, so I didn't win with bombs, like my opponent tried to, but I had this crazy uncommon. So here, if you were wondering what's this means that I got the $500 and also have the qualified weekend token for January event. Okay. I don't like being on the draw that much because this deck can be a bit slow against curving out opponents. But this is definitely a keep because I do have the opportunist, which is always a good 3-drop. Just don't have 1-drop. Thank you. And the Burnished Heart hopefully can get me the island if I don't otherwise draw it. Okay, that's not bad. First of all, it's not bad that they are actually not playing anything here yet, because I want to have the time, all the time in the world. Alright, this is good. So, plan here is probably to... Okay, they have a disfigure, I don't care. I want the Power Stone token. Because if I do this when I have access to 6 mana, I can just get the lands guaranteed. So maybe next turn is a Boulder Branch column. Let's see if I draw a land. A Perilous Vault. Exile all non-land permanents, including these Power Stones. Wow. That's only enchant a creature, not an artifact. In some sets, these auras can also enchant artifacts. Alright, so I think it's pretty easy just to play the Golem now. They can use this on the end of my turn. Because what I want to do is that I of course need to offer some kind of, you know, a threat here so that they can just keep. They have to either start taking damage or play their own stuff, and if they play their own stuff, why would they main phase that thing? If they play their own stuff, that of course means that this is gonna exile also that stuff. Well, I mean, this is fine. I'll just attack for 3, see what happens. And I have this, and I can get my more lands. Maybe I can use this with Rich Law, because what I can do is I can make this go to my second from top, be a 2 mana 4/4 Clay Revenant. Okay, well that might get exiled if they don't jump with it. Gixian Puppeteer. Okay, so that is kinda weird. I mean, this Perilous Vault isn't doing nothing here. It's doing exactly nothing. Okay, well, I gotta get more lands here. Let's get the island, and I guess I can get the remaining planes. I have actually 2 white cards in my hand, so why not? I'm gonna draw an island at some point, regardless. Simulacrum now. So this thing exiles. Well, currently they're exiling 3 of their own things, so I mean, I can definitely play more stuff to the battlefield. Just wondering what it should be. It could be a take flight, get more cards, that kind of pressures them to use something. I can take this. It is gonna be 8 damage. It's not an amount I'm happy to have. dealt to me. I could also just prison sentence this puppeteer, because this won't even trigger when it gets exiled. So maybe that's the better play. And then I have 5 mana or 4 mana remaining after that. I believe that I'm gonna actually do it like this. Yeah, I don't mind, because I have so much good stuff going on in my hand. I just want them to use the Perilous Vault. So let's give them an incentive to do that. So do that, and then make sure that they can't attack for too much damage. I mean, I guess I could also get rid of the Coilless Rock here, because that can actually trade with the Golem. Although it won't trade it with if I use the Simulacrum. But yeah, I'm still maybe... Oh my God, I take 5 here only though. This is really interesting. Okay, I have a plan. I have a plan that if this trades with the rock, I'm gonna play the Rich Low and, you know, make it go back to my library. Also I can scry now. Okay, well, all of this is good. Static Net can get rid of the Perilous Vault if they... Yeah, well, I'm definitely drawing it first, because I already have a Prodigy in my hand. So if they use mana, that means I can just exile this thing, and then I don't have to worry about. So this requires 5. Alright. Then I'm gonna remove my thing. I mean, if they remove the Golem, yeah, that means then of course that I don't need to exile the vault here. I mean, I don't mind if they wipe their own board here. Although if I play the Static Net and leave this Perilous Vault, I mean, I can't play this before they have used this thing, because, you know how it works. The thing under it would return. But my point here was that I'm going to use this ability. And I don't think I can play... I could play the Prodigy though, to kind of give them a reason to use the vault. I still have so much good stuff going on that I'm actually going to do this. I will lose the Power Stone token too, so it's kind of like just baiting them to use it. So yes, pay this, and now I will have a cheap Boulder Branch Golem second from the top. And so it will be 1 mana cheaper and also +2/+2, so very, very large thing. And the opponent can't really, you know, successfully raise me in this situation, because I will be able to make the Prodigy an unblockable threat. So I guess they should just now attack in the air, and then in my end step blow up the board. So I can't add to the board myself. But they have only 1 card in their hand. They do have the dig site, but they can't use it if they're gonna use the Perilous Vault. What is command? Okay, so they have no intention to use the vault. Interesting stuff. Well, I mean, this token is something I can exile with a Static Net, because obviously it won't return. So they keep on... Yeah, that's why these mass removal effects aren't so good. They didn't even try to make such a board state happen, which would involve, you know, this being good value for them. Then again, it has made my game very hard here now to, you know, navigate. So next turn I'm gonna have a big, massive creature. I'm gonna get also this Burnished Heart. I'm gonna make it a 2 mana 4/4. I'm very happy to draw such a thing. So now the question is, they are gonna be able to use the combat courier to trigger the puppeteer. Yeah, I'm taking a beating from this flyer, but I guess I'm getting a bunch of life on the next turn. Right. I'm thinking about the Simulacrum, that's the thing. I think I'm gonna Static Net the token here. That's my plan for this turn. If I use the Simulacrum, That's gonna, I mean, I kind of want them to use the Perilous Vault. It will clear the entire board here. Sure, let's make them do it. I mean, this will get exiled, so the Unearth will be lost, but I think I just can't take the 3 in the air, so and I can't static net it either, because when they use it, then they will get the Coilous Rock back. And I have exactly the mana to do this, so I can make this into an unblockable 5/5. Now maybe I don't have to use the static net, because I can jump block the 5/5 here. And then it goes to my graveyard even. And plus if I use this, then I don't have mana for this, and I wanna use it. Alright, I think I can jump block here. I shouldn't be dying unless they draw something crazy good. So let's make us have a... that's gonna be a 2 mana 4/4 now, as you can see. Well, 3 mana, but it costs 1 less to cast. Okay, they are just doing that. I mean... yeah, they're gonna go to 12, I go to 9. They're gonna kill the Simulacrum. Well, maybe... I could double block it too. Because this is gonna give a -1/-1 perpetual effect to the creature I have with the lowest power. So it's gonna be the Headmaster. I guess I'll do this. I'm gonna gain a bunch of life on the next turn. I don't actually have to worry about it too much. I mean, double blocking this, so... let's use the Rich Law more. I'm gonna get to use it each turn. Again, they don't have mana to use the Perilous Vault. I'm gonna gain 8 here. For 6 mana. So if I use that for 6, I do still have mana to activate this, which is gonna force them to finally use the Perilous Vault. Yes, and I will even have mana left over for to use the Rich Law. So I get my Simian Simulacrum. Yeah, I don't get to draw any fresh cards, but I'm gonna draw pretty nice cards in here. So yeah, now they have to do something about the Prodigy here. They get to trigger the Puppeteer again, but it's not gonna be enough. I mean, this will be lethal. So they have now... oh, they actually need a land here, because they don't have the mana to activate the Perilous Vault right now. I guess a removal spell works too. Well, definitely an interesting game here, because the Perilous Vault really affected how I'm playing this. Of course, I could have just, vomited my hand on the battlefield in any other case. But of course, this would have been some meaningful creature for them. Alright, so they actually didn't have the 5th land even. And now they finally lost before... I mean, because they could have... they didn't know what I have in my hand. They did know what I'm gonna draw though. But it seems like they just tried that... they thought that they can race with this Coilous Rock, but with me getting these life back and, this being unblockable monster, yeah, they should have just pulled the trigger here and hope that they can top deck better than I. Okay, so I at least got to 3 wins, which means it's not a massive loss of gems anymore. Yeah, that is a turn 2 Drafna, turn 3 Simulacrum, and I'm also on the play here, which gives me some time before the opponent can overwhelm me. They have a good 1-drop, but I guess I at some point might draw the prison mana for the prison sentence. The land, even though it's not a plains, is good because I can now utilize the take flight on turn 4, at least hopefully. Wings there, okay, that's fine. I guess I'll make the Drafna into a... oh, they... well, that's making things a lot more interesting now. Because I can copy the... Simulacrum at some point. This can give me a Power Stone token, then next turn I can Although take flight on this thing is, I mean, it's unnecessary because it's so good regardless. So I'm actually gonna do this, you know, aggressive route here. This doesn't have death touch yet, so I can attack into there. And next turn, take flight on Simian Simulacrum. And I'm actually gonna raise the opponent with the Hercule's Prodigy, able to, you know, finish off the job once they stabilize. Of course, all this won't work if they have removal, but I guess I hope they don't. Okay, they are gonna attack, which is interesting. Oh yeah, because they can, you know, block with the Opportunist. So of course I could. Well, what I should do is just simply... I could trade here. I mean, it's not ideal because this is so nice with the Simulacrum. With 1 more mana I can return this and recast it. Of course, if I'm gonna take flight, it's not so great in that case. So I'm gonna go all in and put a take flight on Drafna. Hope they don't have an answer. I guess I draw 1 card regardless, and then I can just you know, try to actually raise them. Okay, that subjugation is really good. So they can deal a bunch of damage to me thanks to this 1 drop they had, being already a 3/3, maybe a 4/4 this turn. But we'll see. I can at least subjugate it. That's good. They might have a prison sentence, then I can't use its abilities, so that was a bit risky thing, but I did it because I do have the Hercule's Prodigy here, and this forces the opponent to do something. At least they can't just add to the board. And if they use the Agathian, the Aeronaut's Wings or something, I might just use the Weakstone's subjugation to make the blocker unable to block. And they would have to use 2 mana for that, which is, you know, a lot of their available mana. They do have a Power Stone though. So there's nothing too obvious there. Well, I mean, I don't know. They thought that for a long time. So that means they had some other things they could do there too. Oh well, such is life. And I know this was a risky play, but I was able to continue the pressure there, and I also was able to draw a card because I wanted to hit more lands. I still didn't do that. So now what I'm gonna do here is just well, how quickly I'm dying here. I don't have to attack with the Simulacrum, but it's not gonna... Because I could play the Sprite and the Prodigy here. It will be a lot safer to just, you know, lock something down there. Yeah, I'm gonna lock down the Opportunist. This forces them to move the wings at least. They have something for 1 mana. That seems... It could be a giant growth. But yeah, that was a very good Sylvan Smite. I kinda hoped that... Hope it wasn't... Well, I mean, it was a 2 mana spell, but it's not like they played much else there, so... A removal is removal. I guess I wanted to go big or go home, but I can still win here. It really depends on if they can also deal with the Prodigy here, because if they can, or if they are going to be able to win me in 2 attacks, because I don't have a block on this thing right now. I don't have white mana available, so they go for the attack, but there's no artifact now. But it's enough if they have an artifact on the next turn to make this into a 5-power creature, but what can I do? If I don't draw anything that helps me, then I can just... Yeah, well, I guess when you splash for some other color, you are gonna be bound to. You're gonna be bound to at some point just you know, not draw the splash color. Now, depending on what the opponent has in their hand, mostly do they have ways to generate an artifact? I still can win this. If I attack with both, play the Sprite. If they don't block, I can still block. Yeah, this is really... I mean, I think they have like a giant growth or something, but it's not like I have much chance here other than... Because on the following turn, the opponent is gonna win regardless. Yeah, so... so many cards just win them the game outright, and they are holding priority here, so I'm afraid it's gonna be a pump effect if nothing else. But we will see very soon. This was a cool deck. I was able to even do some very good stuff with the Drafna. Of course, I lost to the annoying bomb in the one game, so that was one loss, and this was just a fair game. Also, of course, if they have a turn 1 play which becomes into a 3/3 kind of for free, that's pretty good. And they had this timely removal there, but and I was how many times on the verge of getting the mythic rank. It doesn't matter. But yeah, definitely this on your opponent, they didn't have like a bomb red or anything. They had a very efficient curve out here, and I didn't quite. I mean, I guess I needed just one of my spells to be castable. Of course, if with the prison sentence, I just win the game. So, I had many ways to get the white mana, but I just didn't draw it in this game. I guess I didn't have more color issues in other games, so it wasn't a huge deal in the event. Alright, still I got 3 wins here. At least I got to upload now something else than a 7 winner of these alchemy drafts. And I even found a mythic rare, which is here. So that's gonna be a little bit closer to completing the alchemy cards. I won't be able to complete all of them. Let's claim the prize now, because I'm still missing, I think, over 10 of the mythic rares. There are 20 total. There are 5 different ones. 4 times that is 20. And these 78 packs I have, these all came from the mailbox bonus plus all the draft winnings are here. This won't be enough to complete the mythics of the alchemy set, but I got pretty close. And I think I might still have time for one more draft before I go to sleep, but I won't be recording that. So the next draft you will see is going to be a traditional draft of Brothers War maybe in a couple of days. Thank you for watching, and bye bye.